In this recording, we will be looking at the topic of ratio. So, the IGCSE Edexcel exam board do like asking quite a few ratio questions in a variety of different ways. So I'll be doing some separate recordings showing the different types of questions. Then I'll be bringing it all together to look at specific exam type questions. We are going to start with simplifying and expressing in the form 1 to n. Okay, so let me do an example first. In one match, Sevilla played Valencia. In the match, Sevilla had 8 shots on target and Valencia had 12 shots on target. Write the ratio 8 to 12 in its simplest form. So if we look at both 8 and 12, we need to find a common factor. So what's a common factor of 8 and 12? What times tables are they both in? The 4 times table, so we can divide them both by 4. If we divide 8 by 4, you get 2. And if you divide 12 by 4, you get 3. There's a slightly different way of working this out. You might have decided to divide by 2 because 2 is a common factor. If you did use 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4, 12 divided by 2 is 6. You would have noticed it's not fully simplified. We can continue to simplify by dividing both by 2. So if you use the highest common factor, you will only have to do it once. If you don't, you might have to continue. Okay, so maybe have a go at these 3 questions. Put me on pause and pause when completed. A recipe uses 12 cups of flour and 18 cups of sugar. Write the ratio of flour to sugar in its simplest form. So we've got 12 to 18 is the original ratio. The highest common factor is 6. So if we divide both of these by 6, we get 2 to 3. Just let me show you, if you do happen to simplify this by dividing by 2 first and then divide by 3, you still would have got 2 to 3. Okay, question 2. There are 45 boys and 60 girls in a school. Express the ratio of boys to girls in its simplest form. I will do this one over here. So we've got 45 to 60. I know the highest common factor is 15. So let's divide them both by 15. 3 to 4. And again, you may have done this by dividing by 5 first. Dividing by 5 first would have given you 9 to 12. And then if you divided them both by 3, you would have got 3 to 4. In a zoo, there are 35 lions, 49 tigers. Write down the ratio of lions to tigers in its lowest term. So 35 to 49. A common factor of 35 and 49 is 7. So I'm going to divide them both by 7. And we get 5 to 7. Okay, we also need to be able to simplify or write in the form 1 to n. So let me kind of explain what that means in a minute. We've got the added information or the added problem of having to convert to the same units. So there is a recording on unit conversion somewhere. You might want to watch that before you have a go at these questions. So we can't write in the ratio until we have consistent units. We've got 50 grams and we've got 1 kilogram. Now 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. So when we initially write it in our ratio, we need the units to be consistent, so grams to grams. So 50 grams to 1,000 grams. Now wants us to write it in the form 1 to n, which means we want 1 on the left-hand side of the ratio and any number on the right-hand side of the ratio. So what do we divide 50 by to get 1? It's 50. Because we've divided the left-hand side by 50, we have to divide the right-hand side by 50. 50 divided by 50 is 1. 1,000 divided by 50 is 20. So the answer is 1 to 20. What is n? N is 20. Let me just show you that with another one before you have a go at some yourself. So the ratio 2 meters to 5 centimeters can be written in the form n to 1. Again, we need our consistent units. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So 2 meters would be 200 centimeters. The ratio is in the order 200 centimeters to 5 centimeters, so it needs to be that way round. We want it in the form n to 1, so this time we've got 1 on the right hand side of the ratio. So 5 divided by 5 gives you 1, so we have to divide the left hand side by 5 also. So we've got 1 here on the right hand side, and 200 divided by 5 is 40. The answer is 40 to 1. N is 40. Okay. Have a go at these 3 questions. Put me on pause, unpause when you're finished. Okay, so for these 3 questions, 1 litre is 1,000 millilitres. So that's your first step, converting so the units are consistent. 1 to n, well, let's just write it as 250 to 1,000 first. We want 1 on the left-hand side, so let's divide by 250. 250 divided by 250 is 1. 1,000 divided by 250. If you're good with your mental maths, you can do it in your head. If not, you can use a calculator. Remember, for IGCSE and Excel, you can always use a calculator. 1 to 4, so n is 4. £1 is 100 pence. So £3 is 300 pence. 75 to 300. We want 1 on the left-hand side. So let's divide by 75. Divide by 75. So 1 to 4. Again, n is 4. 4 hours to 15 minutes. 4 hours. So 1 hour, 60 minutes. 60 times 4 is 240. We want 1 on the right hand side. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 240 divided by 15 is 16. So 16 to 1. And we've got n is 16 here. So maybe watch some of my other recordings now on sharing into a ratio.